This is Seth Klebe, the host of Watch the Tech. Speaking of watches and tech, my guest tonight is probably the least tech-oriented that I've had on the show, but it's totally okay because they way overcompensate on the watch side of the house. So I think you will still be absolutely entertained. So the watch that I'm wearing is a repeat because this is our 12th episode and I only have 9 watches. So I'm going to be rocking my Hermes HO8. But honestly, who cares? What I'm going to do is actually just talk about a watch that's on my wish list. And from there, you can tell me if it's shit or not in the comments. So, watch that's been on my wish list for a long time is the H. Moser Streamliner Small Seconds in the aqua blue. That thing is just incredible. I had a chance last year to try one on. Moser did an event with my watch club and it was just pure magic. Pictures just don't do that blue justice. And it seems like a watch that, unless you really know watches, maybe it's not something that you would pick out of a crowd. So to me, I like that understated nature, but the watch itself, I actually don't think is very understated. And it is a workhorse. You can swim with this thing. It is rugged in stainless steel, but it has these really luxurious touches, especially the dial. And then the movement in the back in the platinum micro rotor, the finishing is just out of this world. So that's why that's on my wish list. And I hope that one day I get to own that watch. All right, so we're going to dive in. Our guest is about to be here. Let's get into it and enjoy some watches. Dude, I'm glad you're here. It's 6 o'clock on the East Coast, so I appreciate you joining, dude. We'll just
Do I need to have
get
a mic or something like that, or are you good? My headphones, I realize, are not charged because I'm an idiot, so they're charging. But like, I don't know if you just want to start or wait a little bit and then start. It's up to you.
You sound fine to me.
Okay, good. All right, good. Because I have a mic, but I don't have it set up because I just got back from my office.
Where is your office?
I just go to like a WeWork every day
Okay.
to like get stuff done because I can't work in my apartment. I like film here and then I leave. I can't do anything here. It's impossible.
Fair enough. Well, Ben Cook, welcome to Watch the Tech. How are you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic, fresh off a complete day of work, and I was just super looking forward to this, especially because I feel like we've had a lot of like little interactions through social media, and
Right.
oh, now we actually get to have a real adult conversation about watches.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
Yes, exactly. I was doing a little bit of research on you. It's part of the job, right? Sean Evans is the gold standard, so I didn't go
Right.
as far as to find out what instrument you played in the 3rd grade, which was clarinet. But
You were pretty close. I did play an instrument there. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
nah, you're good. School in New York, and you've been doing Ben's watches for like 3 years. And most people that will watch this, they'll immediately recognize your face and your New York accent as Ben's watches.
Right. I have a New York accent, do I?
Yeah, you do.
Really?
Has no one told you that?
No, it's the first time it's ever been told to me, but I guess I've lived in New York long enough to have a New York accent.
Yeah, you've got one. Do I sound like I'm from California?
Yes, for sure. I
Yeah,
definitely hear
I
that.
can't
But I
kick
feel like
it.
it gets muddied sometimes, especially in New York. Like everybody's from everywhere here. So sometimes.
True.
But yeah.
True. Dude, what has it been like having 3 years of your own company running? I've never started something quite as serious as that. How's it been?
I guess it's like, how do you even call it? Like, it's a company in a way. I hate using the term influencer, but I guess it kind of is. But I've worn so many different hats that it's almost like I've had like 5 different business plans since I've started. But pretty much the goal when I started was I wanted to work for myself. I've always wanted to work for myself. I'm like, why not? I want to select something I'm in love with, as opposed to just like a lot of times people, when I was reading, like you're solving a problem or you're doing something like that you can make money in. And I'm like, why don't I just go into a field that I enjoy? And I knew content was king. And I was like, I love the watches, love them. Why don't I start making videos? And yeah, now I'm here.
Dude, it's working for you.
Thanks.
It's working for you. So who actually got you into watches? Like, where did that begin?
Nobody in my family collects them. I would say my grandpa and my dad, they were really into not watches, but they wanted an orange watch. I do not know why. I can't explain it to you. That was my first like introduction to it. But when I got a G-Shock in seventh grade, and then I kind of fell on the wayside. Then there was no sort of watches in my life. Like I knew about them and I would read about them and I would occasionally watch a video if I saw one, but I wasn't addicted like I am now and like you probably are where it's all you look at all day. And I still do it even outside of work hours. And then I got to college and I started getting more into it. And when I realized I was going into finance, I was like, everybody's got a watch. Everybody's wearing them, especially in finance. So I did research and then now I'm here, essentially.
Fair enough. When you were in that finance stage and you were looking at a lot of watches, like what were the really like common ones that you would typically see? Because you see the memes that are
Yeah.
like, this level is a Submariner, this level is a Daytona, but none of that shit's actually real, in my opinion. What did you actually see when you were in that stage?
So in the finance world, like I would say the people who were wearing them in finance, it was like you were either wearing like a date, like a older date just that your dad gave you. That's typically what I saw. Or your grandfather or whatever, something handed
Okay.
down to you. And then you saw a lot of Apple Watches, like a ton. I'm assuming in tech it's the same thing regardless. But then some of the higher levels, you'd see a Rolex, like a Submariner, you'd see a Daytona, you'd see an AP sometimes, but most of the time Panerai was actually pretty big. Tag Heuer was pretty big. Brands like that. But that's when you're first starting, and now they're looking back on it. There are probably some guys wearing some micro brands that like made no sense at all. But yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I feel like Panerai is actually kind of having a moment of coming back. I think Watches and Wonders kind
Yeah,
of
they
brought him
kind of
back.
like so I didn't get to see them at Watches and Wonders. I got connected with them a little bit. I think like people say like, "Oh, I don't like Panerai." Not to me, but like they'll say that about themselves. Like, "I don't like it. It's too big." I've never been a hater. Like never once. There are brands that like I'll hate on, but I just for some reason Panerai, it's like it's okay that it's big. It's completely different. There's nothing like it. There really isn't. And I love the white dial Luminor with a green rubber strap. It's like 44. Such a, in my opinion, such a good watch that people don't talk about because it's Panerai, too big, it's ugly. I like it. But I didn't get to see the watches wonders. I honestly don't even know what they came out with. That's my job.
That is literally your job. But dude, it's all good. Basically what they did was they shrank thinned. That was the main news. I think there was possibly a new movement, but they, I think, just got a little bit more modern on the proportions. And similar to you, I always loved Panerai, and someone that kind of got me into watches, that's what they wore. So I was like, okay, I love the K shape. I love the crown guard. I am an absolute child at heart, and Loom is my favorite thing in the world. And so I was like, can I go find one of these that's thinner and smaller? And the answer was yes. It was the Due collection,
Which is awesome, by the way.
which is, yeah, dude, I really love mine. Even though it's like the one watch that I'm experimenting possibly selling. I don't know if I actually have the heart to do it though. I like bought my house while wearing that watch. So I'm like, can I really? I don't
Oh,
think so. It kind of means a lot to me.
I became heartless with my selling of watches. I after I sold my first Rolex, it was now like I'll buy something and 6 months later I'm like, all right, I want to try something else. And I just don't. I don't have. Also, I don't have too many like milestones I'm buying for right now. I'm not married yet. I'm not. I don't have kids. I don't have a house.
Well, you probably live a more free life being ruthless about getting rid of watches to make room for others. But, like, is there a watch in your collection that symbolizes where watches went from more hobby to full blown addiction profession for you?
Totally. And I wanted it to be British, and I wanted it to be Swiss made, and I wanted it to just at the time. I don't care about Swiss made anymore, but at the time I did.
Do you have that watch around, by the way?
I go get it? It's in the other room.
Yeah, you can go get it.
All right, I'm gonna.
Hell yeah. Please.
I don't know if you can see it on my camera. This is
Yeah.
it. So this is it. It had micro adjust, or had, still has micro
Right.
adjust. Christopher Ward, $1,000.
Yeah.
The case back's got this like sapphire tint to it, so it's actually
Oh, cool.
see-through. And then it's a you probably can't tell with the camera, but it's like a slightly skeletonized dial with like a blue tint to it.
Okay. I like it. So why did you pick English brand?
Well, my dad's side of the family is all British, so I do identify a lot with England.
Got it. Yeah, so you probably keep up with the English brands pretty closely then. The one that I have seen recently is Fears.
Yes, I've seen them before. Yeah.
They have, it's almost like I feel like it's a jumping hour or something.
Yep.
And that thing, like the dial colors on that, the font choice that they've made, I'm like, that's just a slick watch.
The cool thing about that Fierce Jump Hour is the movement that's used in the Bel Canto from Christopher Ward, which I'm assuming you know.
Yeah.
They use a jump hour movement. That movement is also that's the jump hour used for Fierce. Just something that they told me, which I didn't know when I saw it. It's really cool. It's like
Ah,
$5,000 or something US. And it's really good looking. I like they have a salmon dial. I'm not a big salmon guy. I think it looks cool. And then on the wrist, I don't love it. The black is nice. Black on a black strap. That watch is sick.
okay. Yeah. That is a really that does count as a fun fact.
Yeah.
I'm right with you there on salmon dials. I can like look at them online. I like eating salmon, but I don't think I want to wear it on my own wrist.
The only salmon dial I've wanted to is another British brand. I swear this now about British brands. I don't even have an accent, but Studio Underdog has that salmon watch, the salmon skin. Very cool. And then I do know somebody that bought the Moser salmon dial, and then they bought a salmon skin strap and put it on it. Very cool. People are crazy for salmon.
Clearly. Well, I mean, Patek has some wild ones
Oh, yeah.
that they've done, and the new Calatrava. But
Also,
that's like a salmon that needs to be cooked a little bit longer.
yeah, it's more of a pink, if anything.
Yeah, it's pretty raw
I
salmon
wish I
on
could have
that
saw
one.
that. I saw it through a window, but I didn't get.
Okay.
I didn't get hands on with Patek Watches and Wonders. I would have loved to, but they're very secretive. They don't share with too many people. Eventually,
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, on the watches and wonders topic, real quick. One, it's amazing that you went, first of all, and like
right?
so many people, I think, that are just deeply into the hobby. They're in the addiction phase. They look at watches and wonders. It's like the Super Bowl, but they'll probably never have a chance to go. Myself included. Like I think my chances of ever being asked to go are probably pretty damn low. But I mean, I guess like I could show up, just be like, "Hey, like I'm in Switzerland. What's up?"
Well, there's just like there's public days, so you could go.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I know that there's a secret menu and I want the secret menu.
right.
So, but like share with us please. What was it really like? How did you take it all in? What'd you observe? Like walk me through that.
Well, I'll tell you how you get invited.
Okay.
I think it's crazy the way they do it, and I had no idea that this is how it worked, and it almost shocked me. So basically, what they do is they take the Watches and Wonders organization. It's mostly Richemont brands, so IWC, Cartier, Panerai, Piaget, JLC. It's mostly dominated by them, but they essentially every brand that's there sends their PR lists in, and then the Watches and Wonders organization whittles down the PR list to like the most common names. Essentially, that's what they do. And then every brand gets on a call and they put your picture up and they go, should we invite them? And it's yes, no down the list. It's like the Hunger Games. It's like
Or it's like literally a college fraternity rush.
that's probably more. I didn't go to a college with a fraternity, but yes, that is what I've
You're
heard.
probably better off for it, but nah, I'm kidding.
But
I like
same
love my
thing.
friend. I like love my friends from it, but it did me no favors to probably my body.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I probably went through something similar, just didn't go through that portion of it.
Right.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
And then
That's okay.
of those people, so when they take those, I think they have to have a certain amount of U.S. press, European, Asia, Australia, like just kind of mixture Africa, everybody. And then
Diversity invites. Okay.
right, yeah, they got to bring the right people, and they got to make sure you have everybody from
Cool.
and then you get your hotel, so they take care of your hotel for the 5 days of Watches and Wonders press days, which is very nice, and that's just press. If you're a retailer, they give you 3 days. So like Teddy Balzar, for example, he gets a hotel for 3 days because he's a retailer, but then his team, who work on the press team, gets 5 days. Crazy. how that works. And then you're there 5 days and you gotta pay for your flight. There's sometimes people figure out a way to pay for their flight, like they'll make content for a certain brand if you're a writer. And then while you're there, it's hell on this earth's the wrong term because it's so fun, but it's crazy because you have appointments all day. In between each appointment, you don't sound like you're like breaking. Your break is like if you're a writer, you're writing more, or you're taking photos, or in my case, I was making videos. And I was doing 3 a day while I was there. And then since you work all day, you get free food, free champagne, free coffee, free everything while you're there. And then every night there's like parties. So it's like tutor will have a party and you get invited to it and you go and you have drinks and maybe 1 or 2 snacks. And then you go home to the hotel at 9. And then sometimes people go out and drink and then sometimes people eat food. I was making videos. I was working. But yeah.
So behaved, Ben. So behaved.
Well, my thing is like, that was my first time there. And a lot of the times I was meeting these brands for the first time and I wanted to crush it because if I went there and drank the booze, like I wanted like the influencer that everybody would deem like, oh, he doesn't like care that much. He's there for the luxury point of view, which that's the view of a lot of people in the industry. Not of me, but just of like the influencer in general. I wanted to go there and be like, I'm there to work.
Right. You're a buttoned up professional.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was
who likes to have some fun. You know.
Yeah, I wore rugby shirts and I wore what I wanted. I wasn't buttoned up necessarily, but yeah. There to work hard. That was the goal for me at least.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Be honest. Whose party was the most fun? What brand's party was the most fun at Watches and Wonders?
So of the ones, so you don't get invited to everything, but of the ones I went to, the Ulysse Nardin party, the last party I went to was awesome. They took us to the countryside. We ate dinner in this like villa. They had a DJ. I like put some videos on my Instagram story. We were like partying. Like it was also the last day, so I didn't have to wake up the next day and work, but very fun. Ulysse Nardin.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, I will say, of the brands there, I think they were the coolest, most hip. I think they did so well. Yeah, really well. Just overall, they're
okay.
A punching bag. They had a bunch of like activities. It's very cool.
Well, the creators of the Freak, like they have to have something up their sleeve to live up to that name.
You gotta be freaky.
You gotta be a little freaky. Now, was there a watch from Watches and Wonders that you think won the event?
There was my favorite, and then there were ones that like you could say won the event because like my opinion might not be everybody's, but my favorite, if you gave me an unlimited budget and you're like, take one of them, I would take the Parmigiani Fleurier Tonda PF skeleton, the slate green. I've said it like 15 times on different. It's so good. It was so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were the big surprise of the show. If you like went around to all the people who were there, most people were like, I was most shocked by how good their releases were compared to others. I thought they did so well. Others.
See, if I were answering that question for myself, the watch that I would be taking home would be the 40 millimeter Patek Cubitus in white gold.
I really wanted to get that on wrist. They looked so good. Like pictures. I keep like reposting people that are taking shots. I'm like, these are amazing.
Yeah, that was also my one prediction from Watches and Wonders that I absolutely nailed. I was like, they're going to make it smaller. No question. They have to.
They had to. They didn't have a choice. Yeah. I have such a problem with them. I'm very open about like I don't like keep anything close to the chest. I just didn't like the way the CEO acted, and it just totally turned. Even though I think that watch is great and they improved it, like, modern Patek right now, like I just could not see myself buying. Like I'd buy like an old Aquanaut before I bought like a 40 millimeter Cubitus.
His statement was one of just pure cockiness. We're Patek. What we make, everyone is going to eat up and love.
Basically said the haters are people who can't afford Patek and never will, or something along those lines. But definitely afforded was used.
I'm curious, how many watches are in your collection today?
Over the last couple of years, I've been gifted a lot, which I'm very grateful for by friends and stuff. And like, because now I've made friends of brands and stuff like that. I would say like you could say like 15. You could say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad.
Too
Would
many
you
though.
mind showing a couple of the ones that maybe were gifted that you love?
We'll start with the one on my wrist because I do think this is pretty topical.
Okay.
I'm wearing the red dial Tudor Black Bay 58 on the 5 link bracelet. New one. It's a loaner.
Nice.
One of the advantages of the job is I get loaner watches. So I don't actually have to buy watches almost ever. I bought one in Switzerland
Okay.
to tell you about, but don't often buy them too often. So this has been fun.
Yeah.
This is a Gerard Perigo Absolute 8 Tech carbon watch. Very cool. Me personally, I think the Laureato it was hot. It's not hot anymore. I think it's so underrated. Maybe not that one. I love it, but that's acquired taste. I think there's a lot of watches coming out and everyone's talking about watches, but I think people sometimes forget what has come out in the last couple of years. And you're like, if that came out right now, that'd be the hottest watch. And you kind of forget, and I know you probably know this watch, but the Pistachio Breitling B01, like this thing is so good. If this came out right now, people would go nuts for it. But because it came out 3 years ago or whatever,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate because I think it's so good. So I got this one.
Yeah. It's an exhibition case back.
It is an exhibition case back, indeed.
Okay, cool.
So good. Like finishing is so good. It looks like a Patek chronograph, obviously.
Yeah.
Just a phenomenal watch. This is a cool one. G-Shock, believe it or not, changed complete price level. This is one of the newer. Have you seen this? The revival.
No, I haven't. No.
So this is a GW 5000. So it's a revival of the first G-Shock. This one's the blacked out version. The watch is actually made in Japan, not in China, like a lot of the watches from G-Shock. And it's just phenomenal. Like it just upgrades the G-Shock a little bit. This is $360. I love it. I bought this and I'm obsessed with it. It's been very
That's
fun.
awesome. Does that one have the solar capability?
Yes, the atomic timekeeping.
There we go. Now you're talking my language.
Tough solar.
I've had a couple of G-Shocks. I don't have any anymore, mostly because they would just like compete for wrist time with like the 9 watches that I own. Realistically, I'm gonna choose a mechanical watch every time. When I studied abroad, I did this program called Semester at Sea, and I wore a G-Shock for 3.5 months. That was the watch that I wore. Tough solar, atomic timekeeping, easy to change as we move time zones. So amazing memories with those watches, and you can beat the shit out of them and they just perform. All right, my last question for you. It's which watch celebrity would you love to hang out with?
It's easy. Ed Sheeran. Not even close. Yeah. I've seen him in concert. I'm not like a massive Ed Sheeran music fan by any means. I just think that he's such a good guy, and I feel like we would get along very fast. Not that I'll ever meet him, but I just think like we kind of are the same speed a little bit. And I like his taste. He's got like the classic taste, and then he goes for the crazy white ceramic ape. It's cool.
Yes. That is an awesome choice. If I were to answer that question, I would go with John Mayer, actually.
John Mayer, yeah, they're friends.
Yeah. Yes. So maybe we can just, while they're hanging out, then we happen to be hanging out, then we're all hanging out.
We're all hanging out.
And then it's just one day. Can we just manifest this, please? John Mayer, to me, he is the reason why I like play guitar at all. Actually, in my studio, I have his PRS guitar hanging up on the wall. It actually like kind of matches the room too, so very convenient. But I know we don't have all day. I know we have to end this thing at some point. But before we sign off, is there anything that you have going on in your life that like you want to share with my viewers?
Nothing in particular. I wouldn't say no. Just I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing, just video after video. Try and be as like authentically me as possible. And I feel like even from you having this conversation, you're the same dude that you are the video. Like I hope so.
Yeah.
Try to just bring me all the time.
Yeah, man. You show up in such an authentic way online. I think that's one of the reasons why I really have gravitated to your content. Well, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you coming on and spend some time with me. Absolutely. If you like the episode, please like and subscribe. It would be awesome. Also, please let us know in the comments if there was a watch that we talked about that you too also love. Thank you so much.